Hi guys and welcome back to MCK series. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you for your support and thank you for coming back. If you're a new subscriber, kindly consider subscribing by clicking on the red button on your right which says subscribe. Also hit the bell icon. That way you get notification whenever I upload a new video. In today's video, I'll be talking about Osuka system in Igbo land. I would like to share some of my experiences on the impact of Osu in my immediate community. This video is not meant to offend anybody, but to educate and inform. If there's anything I'm leaving out, kindly leave it in the comment section below for me. Before I get into this video, I would like to thank all the traditional rulers and the religious rulers of Igbo land, Southeastern governors, civil society organization, and every other person who made sure that this obnoxious practice was abolished. I'm not leaving behind Joseph Okechukwu, an activist and Nollywood actor who was at the forefront of advocacy to abolish this Osuka system on 28th December 2018. Now let's get into this video. The Osuka system is an age-long obnoxious practice among the Igbos in the eastern part of Nigeria, which have been difficult to go away despite the impact of Christianity, modern education, civilization, and human rights culture. It is claimed that their dedication to the gods, the Osus to the gods, makes the Osu status a condition of permanent and irreversible disability, with lots of stigma attached to it. This is a dehumanizing practice that breeds inequality, stigmatization, marginalization, segregation and discrimination against the Osus. There are different caste groups in Igbo land which include Osu meaning outcast, Ohu, who are slaves, Nwadiala, son of the soil of freeborn. The Osus are allegedly dedicated to Alose, which are called deities in Igbo land, therefore considered to be outcasts and untouchables, while the Ohus are said to have inherited slavery and servitude in perpetuity, hence not allowed to mix or intermarry with the Nwadialas, who are considered son of the soil or the freeborns. The origin of the Osuka system can be traced back centuries ago when the deities or gods were believed to ask for human sacrifices during festival or for cleansing of the land from abomination, thus leading to capturing of human beings or purchase of slaves by the communities. Osus are enslaved to Alosi. Alosi is a deity in Igbo land, either through seeking refuge from the gods by themselves or through being sacrificed to the deities when they give birth. Their children automatically become Osus at birth and continue to raise a family of Osus throughout their lifetime. Most often, some of these people sacrificed to the gods were either killed or lived in the shrine or marketplaces as Osus. Some people who were on the run from danger or crime were also conscripted to Osu caste as a form of refuge. There were also others who were conspired against by some wicked people and were either sold into slavery or offered to deities as Osus. The Osu caste system discourages social interaction and marriages between Osu and Mwadiala. They are classified as lower caste, subhuman, therefore treated as inferiors to the Mwadiala caste, and are not allowed to have any kinds of dealing with the Mwadialas. They are seen as unclean, outcast, and are not allowed to break kola for the freeborns in the meeting. Freeborns, I'm talking about Mwadiala, because it is believed that they will bring calamity and misfortune to the community. They are also not allowed to pour libation or pray for the freeborns, hence not qualified to own any chieftaincy position or title in Igbo communities. This form of maltreatment and punishment have made them to flee to other countries for refuge. Osu caste discrimination is pronounced in the area of marriages, and this is why there are lots of investigation in Igbo land once marriage plans are announced. A lot of marriages have been called off because it was believed that Osu cannot marry a freeborn, otherwise the family will be defiled. And if when the marriage was conducted unknowingly, once it is found out, the marriage will be cancelled or the family will be ostracized by the community. As a result of this caste system, marriages in Igbo land are preceded by investigation with elders from each family discreetly going to their prospective in-laws' native homes to find out each family's social status. My friend, who was born into an Osu family, lost three of her suitors. Due to this wicked practice, the most annoying one and traumatizing experience for her was her last marriage, which had already been consummated without her husband's family knowing that she is an Osu because her husband is from another village. One day, somebody who knew her very well from her own village went and let the cat out of the bag by reporting her to her husband's family, which made her to be sent away from her husband's house. Her parents were not open about their social status because they were living in the midst of freeborn, therefore making it difficult for anyone to find out that they are Osus except someone tells you. But this does not mean that they do not face stigmatization and discrimination from the freeborns. In some towns, Osu people have their own villages, which makes it easier for them to be identified. However, they also enjoy their company. In some families where women had given birth to a baby boy before finding out that she is an Osu, there's always a first son rivalry, and most often the family fails to recognize her son as their first son. This one, I've witnessed this one also, and it causes a lot of problem when it comes to inheritance, because the second son, who is from a free born in quote, a woman that is not us, who want the father will want to make him the first son, because the bona fide first son is born by an Osu woman. Some men who knowingly married into an Osu family due to their religious belief face ostracization from their immediate family and communities, while some couples tend to elope. There are so many ugly cases like these ones I've mentioned before, but I don't want to bore you with it. I will let you listen to Joseph Okechukwu on his own experience.
There's one story that will never leave my brain. A young woman had 6 suitors come for her in 1 year. 6 able-bodied guys, good-looking guys, and she loved them. Her own traditional ruler was the one telling the suitors that, oh, she is an Osu girl. So what many people don't know, which I found out from this whole journey that since we started, is that on account of Osu caste system and the Ohu, there's also an Ohu, maybe we can talk about that. Igbo land has a lot, we've experienced more mass exodus out of Igbo land than during the Biafran War. You know, when I started, people told me, oh, Joe, what are you really fighting this for? It's no longer happening. So there was this denial that was very intentional. And so when I almost got discouraged, but when I got into it, I found out that about 95 to 96% of all our place in Igbo land still practice and observe this. They don't want to agree to it.
Osu caste system clearly infringes on people's fundamental human rights and have torn families and friends apart for generations. However, some Christians also engage in this obnoxious act, despite believing that God created everybody equal. It is very sad how we are very religious, but we continue to discriminate against innocent people on the basis of archaic and barbaric tradition. Having in mind that our ancestors were all traditional worshippers before converting to Christianity, it makes it very difficult for me to understand why some Christians should be involved in this segregation, more so when the practice is linked to demigods that most of us have rejected publicly. The Osu cult is not supposed to be sustained by learned and civilized Christian society. For people living in the diaspora, it is not right to be called a black monkey. When you're over there, when somebody says black monkey, you get angry, you get offended, or being discriminated against by your race, skin color, religion, beliefs, and social status. However, we are all very comfortable discriminating against our own tribe, calling innocent people Osu or Ohu, as the case may be. It is why surprising to me that almost 70 years after the United Nations General Assembly adopted Universal Declaration on Human Rights and banned slavery in 1948, most Igbo communities continue to practice this Osu caste system. The defunct Eastern House of Assembly on May 10, 1956, through an act of parliament, also abrogated the common practice of referring to people as Osu, and fines imposed discouraged the public from expressing the word Osu, but the practice of segregation and discrimination based on caste continued within the region. When the discrimination was intensified, the government set up a committee which eventually recommended abolition of the system, and this made series of resistance as various communities continued to subtly discriminate against the Osus. Some traditional leaders took bold steps to abolish it in their community, but their community members will always ask them to lead by example, which means allowing their sons to marry Osu first so they can follow. Some other communities played it down, therefore allowing it to die a natural death. Anyway, some human rights activists, including Joseph Okechukwu, Nollywood actor, and civil society organizations such as Initiative for the Eradication of Traditional and Cultural Stigmatization in Our Society, Ifetacious, I hope I got the name very well, have been at the forefront of Osu abolition, saying it is against human rights and encourages discrimination. The human rights activists also listed some of the punishments meted to the Osus in Igbo land to be as follows: parents' administration of poison to their children out of frustration, disinheritance, like I shared before, ostracism, deprivation of property, expulsion of wives, violent disruption of marriage ceremonies, denial of chieftaincy titles, and membership of social clubs. Consequently, the government, religious leaders, and traditional leaders in the southeastern part of Nigeria finally abolished this obnoxious Osuka system on the 28th December 2018 at Nri town, which is believed to be the ancestral and birth home of the Igbos. Nri people have divine placement to make atonement for any abomination in Igbo land. This was a spiritual abolition of Osu and cleansing of the land by both traditional and religious leaders, because they believe that the practice emanated from gross criminality, very fraudulent act linked to diabolism, and therefore requires a spiritual approach. I hope Igbo people uphold and enforce this Osu caste abolition, not like the previous years when it was abolished in theory but not in practical. We hope that this time around it will be seriously enforced and involve all the stakeholders so that they'll be able to push it. There is also need for sensitization in the communities so that people can understand that this caste system has been abolished and they don't take it for granted. We need to love one another, do unto others as you want them to do unto you. Treat other people with the concern and kindness you would like them to show towards you. Let's also teach the children to love one another and be their brother's keeper, and also learn to accommodate others, because we are all created by God and we are all equal before God. We also need to be our brother's keeper, because we are more divided than we think. United we stand and divided we fall. I will leave you to watch a footage from the abolition ceremony held at Nri. You can go ahead to Joseph Okechukwu on Facebook page to watch the full ceremony. After the clips, you also see the comments of people I got from Facebook, what their reactions are. If you have not subscribed to this channel, remember to subscribe and share this video among family and friends. See you in my next one.
The young woman, when I was speaking, and I told you people that somebody was planning to commit suicide, and she was on her way coming. She met me here, and I held her, and I was hugging her. She was still crying. This is a fresh case. She's still crying, weeping and weeping out her eyes. If you take her to a private place, you see her crying. This is somebody who has had a relationship for so long, and this thing happened because of this obnoxious practice. If I had left this young man to die and commit suicide, there will be another blood on our hands. This is what we are doing to ourselves. So what we want to do now that God has helped us and our men of God have abolished this nonsense, the Nri Kingdom is still going to do it in the traditional way. Maybe by then we'll go outside and you'll see the full process, how they do it. But right now, we are going to let our bishops shake hands with them, receive them into the fold of God, carry them and cross out this place. They will be used as a point of contact to reach out to every other person like them anywhere in this world and declare upon their head that they are not Osu again. Never will be. Not all their generations ever again.
Oh, for Igbo go to Nakifa.
Oh, for Igbo.
Yes.
Asị m ọkwa ife bụ ka a na-eme.
Oh, yeah.
Ọkwa ife unu kwadoro. Ọkwa si na osu ama m dezi ọkụ ya ka m nọ na ya. Asị m Chukwu okike. Chukwu malite nke anyị na-eme tata bụ nke pọblik, enwe nke anyị eme na eke na-abịa. Ihe anyị ji n'aka dị apụta kwa ụbọchị. Mana ọ maka ife dị na ife a na-ekwu tata. I saw I did like Chinese. As I'm to put one and one if I license as to go to data. Or you have one and I need a lack of Waka in yellow.
There are other people who are also a bit worried like me on the issues of enforcement and implementation. On your screen, you read some of their comments.